going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Student Fire Podcast, live from the Speak Fire studio. My name is Bobby Berg. I'm a motivational speaker for schools, and I am here to help you live your best life today. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Student Fire Podcast, live from the Speak Fire studio, powered by SpeakFire.com. I'm your host, Bobby Berg, and y'all, I've missed you. Yeah, I know it's only been like a week, and it's always just a week, but this week was really good. I had fun. I had a great time. I made some real personal progress in an area that I didn't think I would. And y'all, I'm just on cloud nine. That's the only way to put it. But how have you been? Again, for those that are new to the podcast, this is how we start every episode. I want an honest check-in with you. I want to see how you're doing. Like, take 5 seconds right now to just get in you. Really be one with yourself and just ask yourself the question, how am I doing? And don't cover it with this thin veil of, oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm great. Oh, everything's fine. No. If you're doing good, cool. But if you're feeling even a little bit of a certain type of way, for 5 seconds, I want you to just admit that to yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. See, that wasn't that bad. That was 5 seconds. Now, on to the topic of this episode. So, I was on a coaching call with one of my kids, and, you know, she's doing okay. She's doing really well in class. She's adjusting to Zoom, and, you know, as a lot of kids are going through it, I get it, y'all. It's hard. It's hard being in class. It's hard being on your computer for, 6 to 8 hours a day. It's difficult. Well, what she decides to do is she goes, I've been sitting here for about 20 minutes in the class, and I didn't go to the bathroom in between classes. Well, she just gets up and starts to go, and she has her headphones on and they're wireless, and she hears in her headphones, her teacher goes, excuse me, miss, where are you going? And she goes, I'm going to the bathroom. And the teacher goes, well, did I give you permission to go to the bathroom? Did I say you could do it? No, I'm in the middle of teaching. You need to respect me more and sit down. Well, I don't know about a lot of y'all, but there's a lot of issues in this situation that could have gone a little bit differently, right? So let's unpack this. As we were talking about this incident, I said, well, how did you respond to it? And she goes, well, as you know, I don't really take directions very well when someone brings them to me in that manner. When someone really looks at me and yells at me or demands something, that doesn't work with me. So for those of you that don't know or are new, I have all of my students take a DISC assessment to assess their communication style and how they perceive the world a little bit. For those of you that have taken a Myers-Briggs, it's similar, but much, much more in depth. Well, my student's a high D, meaning she has a lot of dominance in her personality. She's focused on results, and she doesn't do well when people start domineering over her, because with her personality, she will just domineer back, and she will not back down until she's been heard. Well, her teacher really approached this in a poor way because she didn't communicate with my student in a way that would help. And I've told her teacher that before. I was like, listen, she's a very intense personality. And she kind of, her teacher chuckled and goes, yeah, I know. I said, okay, so do you know how to deal with that? You have to help them understand why. What is the result of the reprimand that you're giving them? If you're just yelling at her just because you feel offended, that's one thing. But she's not going to respond well to that. What you need to do is tell her, hey, listen, I'm in the middle of this lecture. I'm about to come to a transition point in about a minute. Can you wait just 1 minute and then you can go? I really don't want you to miss it. That is totally different than sit down because I told you to, right? How different would school be if you and your teachers had that dialogue? How different would school be if you and your teachers could communicate in a way that was more effective and not just, I heard you, but I feel valued in why you're telling me this, and more importantly, I respect you more now because you make me feel like an adult. You make me feel like a person that has value. I'm not just here doing what you say because you told me to. Don't you think school could be just a little bit different? Well, getting back to the story, we were talking on the coaching call, and I said, well, how did the story end? Like, what happened? And she goes, well, I went to the bathroom because she yelled at me and I didn't like that. And I said, okay, what did you do next? She goes, I sat back down and I was in a huff and I was mad and I was frustrated and I got upset and I felt disrespected, and man, I love this teacher and how dare she talk to me like that, man. I do nothing but be good for her. I pay attention every single day. This is the only thing that I've done bad all year. and she's still holding it against me. And I said, okay, let's take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, and out. And we did that about 3 more times. And I said, okay, how did you feel in that exact moment? She goes, I was really angry because I felt disrespected. I said, why do you feel disrespected? And she goes, because she's my favorite teacher in the world. She is my favorite teacher I've ever had. And she yelled at me. And now I'm never going to look at her the same way. And I said, okay, well, how do you propose we fix this? Because with my coaching, I don't like just telling my students what the answer is, because that doesn't teach them how to learn. It doesn't teach them how to negotiate. It doesn't teach them how to communicate. It just gives them an answer. And in this world of quick fixes of Google and instant gratification of TikTok, it doesn't work very well, especially with these young developing minds. So I said, well, what do you think we should do to fix this? And she goes, Bobby, would you be... nah, man, this is dumb. And I'm like, no. Hey, talk to me, man. Come on, talk to me. What are you thinking? And she goes, well, would you be able to talk to my teacher? And I said, no, I can't. And y'all, I'm going to be honest with you, that killed me because I love her teacher. She's great. She's a new teacher. She's been teaching for 2 years and she's really good at what she does. But I said, no, I can't because it's not my fight. Trust me, I want to. But this is your battle. You got to do this. My student goes, all right, well, could we hop on a Zoom call with her? Would you at least be willing to, better yet, could she hop in on one of our one-on-one coaching sessions and we could just talk it through? And I said, that is an absolutely great plan. So we did. The next morning, I sent her teacher an email and I said, hey, just so you know, your student and I have been talking during our coaching session and she would really like to talk to you about something, but I'm not going to reach out. I just want to let you know this is coming. So, they hop on the Zoom call and my student got on early and she goes, hey, Miss Teacher, can I talk to you for a second? She goes, yeah, of course. What's up? She goes, yesterday really, really hurt my feelings because I felt disrespected. And, I would really like it if you and I could hop on a call and kind of hash this out because you're my favorite teacher and I really don't want there to be any animosity here. Now, my student doesn't ask for anything. She doesn't like asking for things. She doesn't like apologizing. So for her, this was her being as vulnerable as she possibly could. And I know I just made this sound like it was an easy thing for her. It was anyone that has dealt with anxiety, with social anxiety, how terribly difficult that was. Well, we hop on a call the next morning and we all talked through it. And it turns out the teacher had woken up late. Zoom wasn't working. Her lesson wouldn't upload. So she had to, give the lesson by the seat of her pants because she was just winging it because the technology didn't work. It had worked the night before. The next morning it wasn't working, so she's already frustrated. Her coffee wouldn't, it was burnt because she left it on too long because she hopped in the shower late and she was already all messed up. So when my student got up to leave, that was just the last thing that just snapped and she just couldn't handle it. I think a lot of people do this where we don't look at other people as though they could be going through something. We just look at the event. We don't look at what has really changed. We don't look at the battle that this other person could be facing. All we look at is this singular event, what happened, the result of it, how I felt, how I didn't feel valued, and all of a sudden we have a problem. Can you imagine how lonely that must be for the whole world if we all thought that way? That's terrible. So, long story short, they really worked things out because instead of trying to win an argument, they tried to understand one another. And I really think that more people need to start doing that. And for your homework this week, I want you to take one event where you can start to see tensions are rising, things are getting a little more frustrated, you're getting mad, someone else is getting mad, and take a deep breath. And I want you to really try and work that situation out in a calm, collected manner. I want you to make it where you and this other person can talk something through and have it be completely worked out by the end of it. I want you to empathize with one another. I want you to work with one another. In schools, we call this social and emotional learning. And I want you all to give it a try this week. I hope you have a wonderful week. You're incredible. You are powerful. You are valued. You are loved, and you are always welcome. If anybody needs anything, for those of you that have reached out last week, thank you. Y'all know I always got your back. Anyone that's new, thank you for listening. Y'all, if you need something, you know I'm on Instagram at Bobby Berg, TikTok at Bobby Berg, every social media at Bobby Berg. Reach out to me. I'll gladly interact with you. I hope you have a great week. I love you very much, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Whew, that was another awesome episode of the Student Fire podcast. Thank y'all for sticking around for this long, but I got a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? See, when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions, like how do I record an episode? How do I get my show to apps? Like, do I have to do it individually, or can I just have one place that does everything for me? And most importantly, how do I make money from my podcast? Is that even an option? Well, honestly, y'all, your answer is Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors that want to advertise on your podcast. Yes, you. That means you can get paid to make the podcast. You can get paid to podcast the right way. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. If you want to get down on this, if you want to make your podcast a reality and you want your success and your word to be a thing, man, you already know. Hop over to Anchor and give it a start. You won't regret it. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
I got you.
It's coming. Are you ready to ignite the fire?
We are Speak Fire.
Oh, and by the way, that's fire with a Y.
What's going on, everyone?
Internal fire.
Student Fire.
Young fire. Father's fire. Leadership fire.
Champion fire.
Unlocking the fire within.
Thank you all for tuning in. Let's grow.
Speak fire.
Speakfire.com.
Speak Fire with a Y.
We have a new episode that comes out every Monday at 4 a.m. Are you going to be up with us?
Deuces.
I am excited to bring you my new book, Trendsetter, 7 Steps to Radically Stand Out to Be the Best You. This book details my journey of coming to the United States and being excited to embrace the American culture. But unfortunately, my culture was not accepted, and I found myself being bullied as a young girl. And in this process, I decided that I wanted to disconnect from my culture to be more accepted into American culture. And through that process, I got so depressed from trying to fit in that I attempted suicide my freshman year in high school. So this book talks about the journey of what I did to become radically transformed to be the strong woman I am today. This book is something that's really going to enable the reader to understand and embrace who they are, embrace what makes them special, and become radically transformed. Get your copy today at becomingatrendsetter.com. Again, that is becomingatrendsetter.com. Or check it out at my website at aishathomas.org.